Okay, the 2022 Royal Rumble is over. My thoughts on it wasn't that good. It felt less like the previous 4 Rumbles and more like the 4 Rumbles that came before the previous 4 Rumbles. But hey, now that the Royal Rumble's over, WrestleMania season has officially begun. And this year, it's taking place in AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys, who have won 3 playoff games in the last 25 years. Bengals could win more in just 1 postseason. It's also where I went to my first ever wrestling event, also a WrestleMania. And yes, I am going to this year's WrestleMania as well, assuming fans are still allowed in the stadium. Looking at you, COVID. I see you over there, you fucking microscopic bitch. But also, to be honest, I'm scared. But I'm not scared because a virus could stop me from going to a WrestleMania again, or because there could be a unification match at said WrestleMania. I'm scared because I might not get to see Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. So it's Raw, February 7th, 2022. Kevin Owens fought Austin Game Theory and won. After the match, Kevin decides, hey, since Austin's in this chamber cage thingy and I just beat him in a match, I should be added to the chamber cage thingy. So he approaches Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville and he says, hey, I want to be in the chamber cage thingy, can I? And Adam Pearce is like, how about Hindi? That's no in Filipino. They explain that because the qualification matches were last week and not this week, Kevin Owens cannot be in the match because he didn't win the qualification match last week. Kevin Owens is like, no, you can't do this to me. I've been a genuine, honest man. I'm just gonna go ahead and start pressing the X button multiple times because I really, really doubt that. He asks them, do you want to deprive the fan base of seeing me in the chamber cage thingy? And Adam says, yeah. But then Sonya Deville drops the big bombshell, the big old Tsar Bomba shell, that Kevin Owens might not even be at WrestleMania. And that really scares me. The possibility that I won't get to see Kevin Owens wrestling at WrestleMania, it scares me. It's bad. First, let me say, Kevin Owens not being in the chamber cage thingy, I 100% agree with. They're doing him a favor. That's in Saudi Arabia. Do you know how hot it gets there? It's like the sun. But him not being at WrestleMania, the mere thought of it is cringe. Kevin Owens should 100% without a doubt wrestle at the Big Blue Star place, and whoever had the idea of him not wrestling there should be fired and then set on fire. Now, if you were watching Raw, you would have noticed that Kevin Owens said the people of Texas love him. As someone who was born and raised in the Lone Star State, I can confirm, yeah, we love this guy. If you ever go into an H-E-B, inside you'll see Kevin Owens cardboard cutouts, Kevin Owens shirts, Kevin Owens candies, and even Kevin Owens marketable plushies. Kevin Owens is absolutely beloved down here. Don't believe me? Well, I went over to the Houston Museum of Natural Science and interviewed some other Texans who were furious at the idea that Kevin Owens wouldn't be at WrestleMania. So how do you feel about Kevin Owens possibly not being at WrestleMania? Who's Kevin Owens and what's a WrestleMania? WrestleMania, the big pay-per-view for WWE that's gonna be in Texas this year.
Oh, WWE, isn't that like fake or something?
Okay, stop recording.
But I don't even watch
I don't fucking care, just say it!
I'm furious that they might not let Kevin Owens wrestle at WrestleMania. If they don't have him wrestle in his home state in Texas, I swear
No, actually, he's Canadian. He's not from Texas.
Well, then why are we supposed to be upset about this?
You're just supposed to, okay? Just fuck. So as you've clearly just seen, I'm not the only Texan that'll be furious if Kevin Owens isn't at WrestleMalaysia. You have an entire state that is so excited to see this man perform here, and you're gonna take it away from us? You can't do that. I mean, sure, you can take it away from the Californians, fuck them, especially LA, go Bengals, but you can't take it away from us Texans. Last year, we had to deal with a horrible winter storm that took out everyone's power, and this year, we thought the same thing was gonna happen again, so we kinda deserve something after all we've been through, just saying. And not only do we love him down here, he also loves us more than we love him. He's saying it himself. I mean, yeah, you could go through some older Raws and you'll probably find him calling Texas dog shit because heel heat, but for now, he's genuine, he loves Texas, and I believe him. Deep in the heart of Texas really might as well be deep in the heart of Kevin because he just loves us that much, and we should probably go ahead and edit the song of the same name while we're at it. The stars at night are big and bright. deep in the heart of Kevin, West Virginia. And if you still think Kevin Owens is lying or trying to guilt trip Adam and Sonya or whatever, he says multiple times that he's serious. Nobody would ever say they're serious when they're not actually serious. Trust me, I'm a scientist. I've done my research. And he even further vindicates his love for Texas by listing off things he loves about the culture.
You know, the culture is actually damn good.
He loves the cowboy hats, the cowboy boots, the rodeos, the bulls. Look at his tattoo of a bull. It might as well be a tattoo of Texas. In fact, there you go. With the power of Photoshop, it is now a tattoo of Texas. How could you think someone with a Photoshop tattoo of Texas doesn't actually love Texas? Also, here's a picture of Kevin Owens wearing a cowboy hat, proving he does in fact love cowboy hats. I think by now I have proven to you that Kevin Owens does truly love Texas. And so, with my gavel, I declare that Kevin Owens must be at WrestleMania this year. I don't actually have a gavel, so I'm just gonna hit my desk and that's gonna be the gavel slamming noise. Yeah. Kevin Owens was right on the money when he said, Texas, this state needs him. We need Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. Doesn't matter that he was at the first Houston SmackDown since the Thunderdome era. That is not enough. Nowhere near enough. He needs to be at the grandest stage of them all for the betterment of both WrestleMania and Texas. And if he's not in AT&T Stadium on April 2nd or 3rd, then as Kevin said, they're gonna get a riot on their hands. Well, I am officially announcing that if Kevin Owens is not at WrestleMania this year, I will be the one to lead the riot. I am a man of justice, and I will make sure that those who commit heinous crimes will be punished for them. But instead, I shall put all of my energy into something with no bearing on the real world. I will rile up crowds in Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, Corpus, and even El Paso. I will use big-ass speakers to blast Riot by 3 Days Grace on repeat out into the streets of Texas whilst driving around in my... Well, I don't have a driver's license, so my dad's gonna be the one driving. And we will make sure Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville, and Vince McMahon all regret their decision. For if Kevin Owens does not wrestle at WrestleMania this year, there will be hell to pay, and we will not rest until... probably like 10 minutes later. I mean, come on, it's just wrestling. No need to get so worked up over it. Also, it's possible Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville were actually warning Kevin Owens that he might get released soon. Because, you know, Kevin Owens was kind of technically part of Triple H's Black and Gold brand, and apparently Vince McMahon is trying to get rid of that. Anyways, bye. See you next month.